All right, hello everyone. Here is the video that I promised on the question and answers. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, but not skimping on any details as well. Since we have so many great questions here, I'm not going to delve too deep into each one, but we will go over them briefly. If you guys have any questions about any of these, please shoot me a DM so that we can discuss it a little bit more, if you so wish, but we're going to get into it. The first one from Edgar Angelo is, how do you add or structure cheat meals to help weak points in a physique? So, first and foremost, cheat meals are not necessary to bring up weak points in a physique. I want to get that across. Technically speaking, nobody needs a cheat meal, but we're not robots. And I certainly do not omit cheat meals from people's plans. I definitely include them. That being said, calories are going to be the main concern when you're trying to grow. Obviously, cheat meals can be a good way to increase calories. So if your digestion is in a good spot, and you don't really have any issues in that sense, I would maybe put a cheat meal the night before a weak body part. Just load yourself up so that you have all the ammunition to attack that muscle the next day. But if your digestion is not the best and it's kind of shaky, I steer away from that for sure, and I definitely just want to increase calories across the board. You also need a lot less calories to grow than you think you do, okay? It's not exactly, you don't need to be eating 1,000, 1,500 calories in excess of your maintenance baseline level to grow. So main thing is just being patient, taking your time. That's going to be the main thing. But if you had to do it, your digestion's good the night before a weak body part. Next one, we're going to go to carb cycling in prep and off season. This is a great question. In prep, I definitely do carb cycle. I like doing it because you can kind of have a few days where you're really digging and pushing, and then you have some days where you let off the gas a little bit in terms of calories, or in terms of low calories, so you bring them up for a few days to give the body a little bit of a break, so it's not just redlining the entire way down the prep. That being said, I sort of periodically drop or add low days as we go. So let's say you're starting your prep out and we're at a baseline, we're below your maintenance, so we're in a deficit, but it's been a little while and it's starting to not work and looking like you need to go lower. Do I want to take your baseline lower across the board for every single day? No, because you're going to burn out eventually. My main goal is to stop burnout throughout prep, keep you going as long as possible. The end of your prep is going to suck no matter what. It's going to be hard. That's just how it is. That's what we do. But I want to avoid that part for as long as I can before getting to that. So what I will do is I'll add one low day for the week, and that's it. And then we'll assess, see what that did, maybe add another one, maybe add 3, and then eventually we add 4, 5, and then we're going low for, let's say, 6 days at a time before we're feeding up. Sometimes we might even have to stretch it out for 10 days. It just kind of depends on the client and what they need. But that's kind of what I would do. Off-season carb cycling, I do less of. It's not something that I really do a whole lot in off-season. I do have calories slightly lower on the rest days to give the digestion a break, and prepare yourself for the next day. But aside from that, I don't really do carb cycling too much in the off days. And like what I said in the first question, you don't need as many calories as you think to grow. So it's really just being patient and progressing in the gym, making sure you're in a surplus, but it doesn't need to be a huge surplus like some people think. You're really just going to put on adipose tissue, which is fat, and it's just not going to help you. So take your time. Most of us do not need to be eating as much as we think we do in the off season. You're not a 300-pound bodybuilder like Samson Dauda. A lot of us don't need nearly as much food as we think. Would you reduce steps for a client to grow more with less food? This is another one that kind of goes along with all of these other ones. No, I would not do that. So in terms of less waist distension, we're going to be focusing on digestion, not focusing on reducing the need to eat so much. I want you to eat as much as you can while maintaining your digestion and appetite. That is my goal. So with this, I would actually probably, let's see, would you reduce steps? No. So that's going to lower your digestion, your digestive capabilities. That's going to slow down your system, and then you're not going to turn the food over as quickly. Your appetite's probably going to go lower, and then you can't eat as much anyway. And you know, we need to keep calories in a good spot so that you can keep growing. I understand what you're saying in terms of reducing expenditure so that you're not using so many calories and taking away from calories that could be used for growing. However, most of the time, reducing steps is not something that I would do. It would really just be more so focusing on digestion and keeping that in a good spot. So how do you mentally prepare clients for peak week, show day, and post show? It's probably my favorite one out of all of these. In terms of that, you know, main thing for pre-show is going to be, you know, staying calm, following the plan. I give you a whole loadout of what you need to do for that week, as well as I'm in touch with you very often that week. I make sure that you're on your game. Any questions, I make sure you're taken care of. I'm on your ass on peak week, and you're never going to not know what you're doing. In terms of show day, just enjoy it. The work is done. It's over in 5 minutes. For most of us, we don't pose for very long, and then that's it, in a blink of an eye. Soak it in, enjoy it, slow down, you know, slow down. We're always so fast all the time. Slow it down, enjoy it. You'll thank yourself later. It's a great thing that you did. You should really feel proud of yourself, so just soak in all the memories. That being said, let's go to the next one. Do you ever drop fats below 40 grams a day with your natural clients in prep? So, natural clients, non-natural clients. I honestly prep both fairly similar. In terms of diet, obviously there's a lot of differences outside of that. But in terms of diet, do I drop below 40 grams? It just depends. With a lot of these questions, it just depends. However, fats are something that I like to keep in as long as I can. If I'm going to pull calories, it's probably going to be from carbs, because I want to keep you satiated, which fats are going to do. They're going to slow down your GI tract, so you're not going to feel so hungry all the time. They're great for hormones. You know, they are also great. I have some notes here. What the heck did I say? Where do we go? Fats. Yes, and they also keep your blood glucose stable. Sorry, I had to look back at my notes. But that would be what I would say for that. It's really the last thing that I like to pull. Other than that, you know, we're really going to be pulling from carbs. This last question here on the diet side, I went over it on my story, but and I'm not really going to go over it again on this one here. There's not so much I can say about it because it's a diuretic. It really depends on the client. A lot of my clients, I don't even have them use them because I don't trust them to do the right thing. You know, I'll tell you, hey, take a fourth of said drug, you know, and maybe they'll do it, but maybe they'll be like, oh, but more would make me look better. And then they'll take it, they'll hurt themselves. Just not a good thing. They're very dangerous. They can be lethal, so you need to be very careful. That being said, I am not a doctor, and do not take my advice without talking to your doctor. So that is everything in terms of these questions. If you guys had any questions as I was going over these, please shoot me a DM so we can discuss it. Like I said, I didn't go too in depth with any of these just because it's already almost a 10-minute video. But hopefully this gave you some information that you can use for yourself that can benefit you. If you have any information that you're still looking for, like I said, shoot me a DM. We can talk about it. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos. If you don't, if you have any suggestions for me to make them better, please do so in my DMs as well. You all have an awesome day.